Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So to start out with, I did a base coat of white on my rock, and then I used a compass and I created a frame around the outside edge. So I did one larger circle and then another circle slightly smaller, about 1/4 of an inch, leaving 1/4 of an inch gap between the two circles. And that's going to kind of frame my design. And then I'm going in and drawing vertical lines, and then another set of diagonal lines with the vertical lines to create diamonds. Now I went in and I started splitting those lines in half. If you're going to follow my design, don't do that part. I decided that these diamonds were too small for my background. And instead of going through and erasing all of it, I'm just going to paint over it and go with the original size diamonds that I had. Now, my background colors are purple, green, and gold. And this is, a Mardi Gras Rock. It's for Carnival. And my purple looks blue on my cameras. So the order of the colors is gold, purple, and green. So to make it easier, the diamonds tip to tip go in a line of color. So tip to tip, the color should be the same. And then you're going to alternate the colors going at a diagonal, if that makes any sense. But you can see how from tip to tip, all of the purple diamonds touch and the green diamonds touch tip to tip. And same for the gold ones. Now I'm using Liquitex Basics for my paint. And they're kind of translucent, so it's going to take me a couple of layers of paint to cover up the background design pencil marks and to get a solid color that doesn't look splotchy. Now this rock is I'm going to paint it all. It's going to be done in several layers. We're going to have a background, and then we're going to have our main design on top of it. But I wanted the background to be solid because I want you to be able to see the background through the eye holes and everything. So I thought it'd be easier to just paint the whole background instead of having to try to paint around my design. The one thing I would not do if I did this again is I wouldn't paint in the black lines that I'm going to paint in. I would do that later after the design is all painted in. I would do that later on because you can see the black lines through the mask. You'll be able to see it when we get to that point, and I'll point it out. So now I'm going in and adding my second coat of paint. The purple only took 2 coats. The blue and yellow, the green and the yellow or gold took, I think 3 coats to cover up the pencil marks. And the colors I'm using for Liquitex Basics are, for the purple is dioxazine purple. The gold color is, what do they call it? Yellow ochre is what it is called in a lot of brands, but it's not in Liquitex Basics. They have a different name for it. I can't think of it right off the top of my head. All these colors are listed down below. And then the green was just a bright green. And the colors aren't true to what the real rock looks like. And you'll see in the final pictures, you'll see what the actual rock, the colors look. My camera just does not pick up the colors accurately. And the frame around the Harlequin design, you can see they're about 1/2 inch marks. Well, here we go. Now we're getting to that part right there. We're just doing a black and white design around to frame in the diamonds. Now all of this, I'm going to go over every single one of these colors with a glitter paint. But since the glitter paint is very translucent, we needed a base coat so that the glitter color stands out really well. Now here I'm going in and outlining the frame. This part I would do at this point. And using a turntable makes it a lot easier to paint these circular lines. Now these lines, breaking up the diamonds, I would wait on these. Because like I said, this you're going to see in the mask. You're going to see the lines through the mask. So now I'm going in and drawing in with a pencil the mask shape, and then I'm also going to pencil in the word Carnival. I will have a traceable for this design over on my Patreon page. If you would like to copy the design the way I have it drawn. The traceables, when I do have them available, are always free to everyone. You don't have to be a member of Patreon or a paying member of Patreon to get to those traceables. You might have to follow my page, but you don't have to pay to be a member. And here I just picked a font that I thought was fancy. You could use whatever font you wanted if you're comfortable doing your own lettering. So now I'm going in and I'm using rose gold, and I outline the mask and the lettering all in rose gold. And this is a craft paint. It's listed below. I think it's Deco Art that I used for this. And it's a metallic paint. But see how you can kind of see the dimension of the lines underneath the rose gold. And it is going to take a couple of layers to cover up the background with the rose gold. So now I'm taking worn, let's see, it was worn penny, which is also metallic paint, and I painted the outer edges of the mask. This is going to create the dimensions so that it looks like the mask is wrapping and that the nose part is protruding up. So to give all of that some dimension, I'm using, it was a rose gold was the base, worn penny was the dark copper colors, and then the gold that I used to just kind of accent on the mask was, I think it was Aztec gold is the color for that. So now I'm going in and I'm dotting around the eye in black. So I'm going to dot around the eyes and the outer edge of the mask. And I'm using a larger dotting. Go in and I'm going to dot, once the black dries, I'm going to dot within those dots with a smaller dot some more of the rose gold. So while we let those dots dry, I'm taking some ivory black and I've thinned it down to a glaze consistency, which is a milk-like consistency. And I'm going to glaze on a shadow around, oh, what am I doing? Oh, it's not that step yet. Oh, I see. We'll get to that part in a second. I'm going in and adding the glitter paint to all of the diamond colors. I'm getting ahead of where I actually am. So we'll shadow everything here in a second. Right now I'm just going in with the glitter and adding glitter to all of the diamond shapes. And I chose to go ahead and paint in the lettering so that the lettering was done before the glitter. You could do it reverse. You could go in and add all the glitter to all of the colors and then do the lettering. I didn't want to add more texture to the background. I was trying to keep the background as flat as possible so that it doesn't show through the design like it does on the mask. That's why I'm doing the glitter now as opposed to doing it before painting in the lettering. But you could do it however you want. Whatever steps you wanted to just achieve the same look, you could do it either way. That was just my reasoning behind doing it this way and having to kind of paint around the lettering, which is kind of a pain, but it's more time consuming. So now I'm going in and I'm adding glitter paint to my frame. So I just used a black glitter paint for the black areas and I used a silver glitter paint for the white areas. And now all of those are linked down below as well. So now I'm going in and with a smaller dotting tool, I'm adding the rose gold dots inside the black dots that are now dry. So now I'm taking my black and creating a glaze with it and shadowing. Okay, so here's the step I was talking about earlier. We're actually doing it here. So I'm going to glaze a shadow within the eye holes and then all the way around the mask, just to pop that mask up off of that background. I'm also taking the same glaze color and I'm doing all the way around all of my lettering. So I'm not actually shadowing my lettering. What I'm doing is darkening the area around the lettering so that it'll pop up off of the background as well. And when you're doing the lettering, it doesn't matter if you get black paint on the letters. I just actually went over the letters with the black glaze. And then now I'm painting back over all of that to lighten back up the lettering. It was just easier to do it that way. I just figured I would just do another coat of paint over it. Now I'm doing a second layer of the glaze. You always want to let it dry between layers, otherwise you just start lifting the paint. So now I'm working on creating the shadow around the sides of the nose. And I'm using the worn penny for that. Now I'm taking just gold glitter and going over the word Carnival and glittering the whole word in gold. When I'm doing glitter paint, I put it on very thick. And usually do 2 or 3 layers of it. At least 2. And now I am adding a dot of glitter on top of all of my rose gold dots. Now I'm taking a larger dotting tool and dotting random dots all over the mask in gold. And right now they look white, but as they dry they'll turn gold. And there'll be just a subtle accent on the mask once it dries. So now I'm painting the outside of the frame around the rock. I'm painting that outside edge black. And here is the rock all sprayed with triple thick clear coat by Rust-Oleum. And the pictures of the rock, you can see how much my camera distorts the colors. And you can see the lines through the mask kind of under the gold, but I don't think it's very distracting, so I just decided to go ahead and roll with it. So if you're curious or interested in any of my rocks, they are loaded on my Etsy shop. I want to thank my Patreon supporters. Without them, this channel would not be possible. So I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.